Welcome to the commentary booth, where we watch and you guessed it, commentate on the week that was in movies and TV. I'm your host and play-by-play commentator Jamie Apps, and each week I am joined by a rotating cast of color commentators to help you find your next viewing treat. This week I'm joined by a freelance social commentator who lists their favorite movie as American Psycho and favorite TV show as Peaky Blinders. Welcome back to the show, Blake Robinson.
Hello, Jamie Apps. Happy to be back.
For the second time today.
Try again.
Yeah, what's been happening on your end of the world? You're free to move about
Right.
now? How's that feel?
Oh, yeah, but I haven't really taken much advantage of it. Literally just saying this afternoon, like, is lockdown over, is it? Because I just seem to be doing the same thing. Just got too comfortable in that 5-month period of doing nothing. So this is me now. Anti-social.
Yeah, that's fair. That's kind of my whole life at the moment. I haven't really done anything like extravagant now that we can. I've just Monday darts went back, so I played darts for the first time.
Oh, yeah. That's exciting.
That was fun, but holy dooly, my arm was sore for the next 3 days. I just had the worst pain in my elbow. I was just like, oh.
Yeah, you probably.
Yeah, I haven't
you
thrown a dart in
warm-ups, man.
4 months.
Just lay on the lounge and throw them up in the air and catch them again, just for practice. Get your arm going.
That seems like a good way to lose an eye.
You learn the hard way.
Yep.
It's been busy on on the TV show front. I haven't really even watched anything of substance. It's just been binging on stuff I need to knock over. Squid Game, smash that out. Sopranos, been watching that like an absolute madman.
Yeah,
and Love Island is back. So I've been trying to catch up on Love Island because I don't watch it live on the TV. So I've been watching a couple episodes a night to catch up. I'm just all over the place. I don't even have time to watch movies these days.
I Love Island. Only you would be so keen to catch back up on that.
I don't know. It's addictive, but it's painful to watch this season in a way. But it's so entertaining, you can't take your eyes off it.
Why's
that? All the guys are absolute duds this season. Okay. Well, when aren't they though? But still, they're just irritating. They're so irritating.
Yep.
I'm easily irritated, and these guys just do my head in.
It's to the limits.
Cool. Yeah, it's character building viewing, that's for sure. Makes you feel good about yourself though.
Yeah, I guess that's the one positive of watching those sort of trashy shows. You're like, oh no, I'm actually a normal human being.
Yeah, I've never felt so normal in my life. Just sitting back watching this stuff. But no, it's good. I'm up to episode 6, and there's 8 out, so I might knock the 7 and 8 out tonight. And it's heating up. Let me tell you.
Yep.
There's controversy and there's drama, and it's scandalous, Jamie. It's scandalous.
Okay. I'll let you enjoy that all to yourself. I'll be just
have my word for it.
Just over here watching other weird nerdy things.
Yeah.
You mentioned
I enjoy it.
You mentioned not watching a ton of movies. We did watch one.
Managed to sneak one in, and it's a doozy. It's a doozy.
Yeah,
one we've been waiting for.
Yeah, we've been waiting, almost a year now?
And spoiler alert, it looks like we're going to be waiting for another one.
Yeah, we are. There is a third one. They did a trilogy.
See, so we're talking about Halloween.
Halloween Kills in
particular,
Kills. Yep.
And midway through the movie, I Googled it. I was curious. It looked like at the start of the movie, the cinematography was different. It looked like it was produced totally different. But then I realized that the start was actually a flashback to the original Halloween. That's why it was old and looked heaps different.
Yeah, so there's that weird time jump that did my head in a bit. I was like, am I watching the right movie here?
So I quickly Googled to find out if this has got new producers or cinematographers, but then it quickly flipped back to current times and it made sense. Yeah, but while I was doing that, I noticed on the Wikipedia page it actually had the title for the next one that comes out next year.
Yep.
So which is titled Halloween Ends.
Yeah, we got Halloween in 2018.
Honestly,
Halloween Kills.
I can't see
this year.
Halloween ever ending.
And I think it's yet just the end of this new rebranded trilogy, basically. It's it's the 12th installment in the Halloween franchise, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. This one was the 12th, so they're going to stop at unlucky number 13, are they? That makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's probably the plan.
Never had that in mind.
Seems like a good idea, and I think the delay actually kind of worked in their favor last year as well, because it's now worked out that Halloween in 2018 came out 40 years after the original. Halloween Kills came out 40 years after the original sequel. And then Halloween Ends is going to be exactly 40 years after the third installment.
Yeah, right.
But I think the year delay kind of worked in their favor.
Do you reckon it was a plan all along?
No. They were definitely planning to get it out last year and capitalize on the momentum.
No, like the Halloween Ends. Like Halloween Ends, do you reckon it's always been planned to do this last one?
I think
it's a big call to like close the page on or the cover or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. Like maybe they just refresh and start all over, but that'd be a bit strange, I guess.
Someone will pick it back up in 20 years for sure. It's too
big of an iconic
Michael Myers is an incredible character. Thoughts though. Someone asked me what was better, the first one or the Halloween Kills, and I said, well, probably the first one, taking nothing away from Halloween Kills, because just the hype, and it was the first one back and it was all different or new, but taking nothing away from Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
I thought that they carried the story on nicely. It wasn't, I heard some people say it was a bit of a cheese fest, but I didn't see that. Halloween is a cheese fest, really, if you want to paint it with that brush.
Yeah, so like this one begins right after the 2018 remake ends with Mike in Laurie's house while it's on fire. He escapes somehow,
Yep.
And then continues on the murderous rage through the town. And yeah, I think this one was not quite to the same level as the 2018 Halloween. The kills were very creative. I'll give them that. The murders and like especially the.
So there's a couple that were unrealistic one, but the one that stood out when he was in that house and he grabbed like the fluoro light tube, and like smashed it and like jammed that through that lady's throat. I was like, oh, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that one.
But it's just a movie. Just reminded myself it's just a movie. Don't get too carried away.
That one definitely stuck out in my mind because I was like, oh, that's very like deathmatch wrestling. It's a favorite weapon of deathmatch wrestlers. So I was like, hey,
well, that's either gonna
someone's been watching their wrestling.
But then again, if do you reckon he's a bit of a wrestling fan? Imagine Mike Myers in the ring.
He'd be unstoppable. He'd be the Undertaker of.
I'm trying to get my head around. Can we call him a superhero? He can't die. Like, I'm curious to see how they kill him.
That was my biggest issue with this movie.
There was 3 times in that movie I was like, that's it.
Yep.
So he got shot a few times. Like, how the hell? Like, didn't he get like shot in the back and he was getting his head stomped on?
Yep. Yeah, like the whole.
I'm like, how's he getting up for this? Then he had like a shotgun in the back of his head.
Yeah, so like
he's gone.
When he's going on that murderous rampage, the whole like town rises up and the whole mob mentality of no, we've had enough of this crazy guy going around killing everyone. So they all fight back.
That was a bit frustrating to watch, hey.
The mob rising
up. They all
up.
just I don't know. I felt like the hospital scene, and they were because when that in the first one when the like the mental hospital bus crashed and they all got out, and that other little guy escaped.
Mm-hmm.
Then they all the mob at the hospital thought he was running around. They thought he was Mike Myers. And then they're like,
yeah, which was ridiculous because he's not even anywhere near the same size.
Yeah, well, like he wears a mask. Yeah,
but he's not.
Yeah, then that was sort of like wholesome moment when she, what was her name? Jamie Lee Curtis' character, her daughter was like protecting him and trying to lock him in the room, but it almost felt like she trapped him in there and set him up to be murdered. But that was a pretty tragic ending to that sequence.
Yeah, that poor guy like cops the short end of the straw there.
Very gory. It was actually pretty cool how they showed the aftermath of what happened there. I won't give too much of it.
Yeah, like I really enjoyed
it. Was very gory movie. It was cool.
I really enjoyed the kills
well.
and those bits and pieces.
Yeah, they did them very well. But like I said, it wasn't cheesy at all. I didn't like. Obviously, it's like a cheesy franchise, but like it wasn't. Nothing was like completely unrealistic. Like it was enjoyable. Like
plot wise, I thought it was a bit thinner than like the 2018 one. Just felt like it had a bit more.
Oh, there was heaps more to it, heaps more substance. It was like a good movie, like a good story. But I suppose this
one felt more like just a basic horror slasher. I didn't like the time jumps backwards and forwards because they weren't like super obvious that they would.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the start of the movie, I was like, "Oh, this looks weird." I was like, "Has this got a new cinematographer or director?" It looks very different. Yeah, the Mike Myers costume is very similar. They didn't really make it too much different in the flashback.
Yeah,
they didn't make it clear. They didn't make it clear with the flashback. It should have put it up on the screen.
It needed to have more effects done to the actual footage to make it clear that hey, this is a different time period, so it looks a bit more grainy or something, where it didn't really do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't like that they basically sidelined Laurie for the whole movie after she got stabbed. She basically just spends the whole movie doing nothing, sitting in a hospital. I was like, she's kind of like, it's her. The Halloween franchise is her and Myers.
It's about her.
And
yeah, exactly.
He's not in this at all.
You make a good point there. Oh, well, maybe she comes in as heavy next. Well, what do you reckon? Does she kill Mike?
Yeah, I think it comes down to
that's set up. It's set up like that.
I think it comes down to like a one-on-one between her and Mike.
It'll be
especially after spoiler, her daughter died. So.
Oh, she did too.
Yeah. So
well, we don't know. We assume. Oh no, she did.
Yeah, she definitely does.
She actually did. Yeah, that was a big kill.
Yep. So and
they weren't afraid to kill off some prominent characters in Halloween Kills, were they?
Yeah, I think they just let everyone that was just in the town. They're all just fluff. They can disappear. It's really about these core group from the original Halloween.
Yeah, I like how they brought in the how they tied in, made up a bit of a story about the cop.
Yep.
How they sort of made it sort of almost his vendetta against Myers.
Yeah, I think they've built it.
They sort of took the attention off Laurie a bit and put it onto the cop.
My other issue was obviously the time jumps were hard, and I didn't like how it didn't really feel like the 2018 one was all about Myers coming to Laurie's house and Laurie setting up to defend. Whereas this one kind of jumped between half a dozen different characters and had heaps of different plots going on. And I was like, okay, this is a bit confusing. Can we just pick one or two and just stick with them for a little bit longer than we are? And like you said, the supernatural part, I was like, wait, so is he actually supernatural or is he just a dude? And I think they've kind of set up now that, he is supernatural. The mob catch him, they shoot him, they beat the crap out of him, and he gets up and then just takes them all out.
Yeah, he really rose from the ashes there, didn't he? It was, I was like, he's not getting away with this. That's done.
Yeah, so he's basically risen from the ashes twice. Physically, the first time.
I like shooting him. It was actually cool too when he stepped out of the house without his mask on. We nearly got his face. Hey, did you? I actually think I noticed when I was Googling the two movies, the first and the second, I think that's a different Mike Myers in the second one.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the same actor.
Really?
It was the same actor.
What's his name? James Jude Courtney.
Yeah, I think it's the same guy.
Oh, no. So they got two down because there was a different one for the flashbacks for the original. They obviously had a different actor for that.
Yeah,
so there was
a bit more.
Technically, there was two different Mike Myers characters in the movie.
I like with the mob too that they kind of became the evil that they were scared of, when they do chase down the mental hospital patient, they kind of bring about the horror that they're trying to prevent. And
Yeah.
like we said, this one
Had a bit of a
leaves
deeper meaning.
this one leaves the ending open for Halloween Ends, which is due October 14 next year.
If I could have my time again, I'd wish I didn't know there was going to be Halloween Ends coming out next year.
Okay.
I wish I found that out at the end of the movie.
Yep.
Because every scene, I'm like, well, he obviously doesn't die now.
Yeah, true.
Sorry to spoil it.
That kind of does ruin it for you if you know that's coming.
Yeah, you're like, well, he's obviously not going to die. Like, just then it becomes like, well, how's he going to get away from this?
Yeah, like I went into this knowing that the sequel or the third was coming because the original plan was to film. Yeah, the original plan was to film
so it's been now.
Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends at the same time. But then because of all the COVID situation and all the extra things that they had to go through, it became a much bigger project than they originally planned. So they ended up splitting, and I think they're currently filming Ends.
Oh, right. Yeah, right.
So that'll be...
yeah. I've loved this reboot of the franchise, though. It's been made well.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, I think
they've definitely done
2018 was better. This one was probably... Yeah. I think this one was necessary to flesh out the story.
They did it well.
And get us to the next one. It didn't really do a lot for itself, but I think it was a necessary step to get to the next one.
Yeah, so it was like the 2018 was a clear, like, opening sort of monologue and a bit of juice. Then the middle one, where we just seen Halloween Kills, was just straight up what everyone wanted originally. Then I think I'm hoping the last one's going to be like a bit of a bookend where it's sort of a slow burn and like almost like a bit of a ballad, if you will.
Yeah, I hope the next one just like does a nice job of closing out everything and sealing up the story so that we can leave with 13 Halloween movies that have a nice ending that's defined and not leaving big open questions.
Yeah. But yeah, all in all, I was very happy with it. Definitely wasn't the cheese fest, which was always told.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like just a classic slasher with elements of that, but I think there was enough there to build to the next one. Yeah. You mentioned watching Squid Game, the talk of the world at the moment. What have you been thinking?
Yeah, it's done crazy numbers. It was sick. It was just different. It was different. Like obviously the obvious thing to compare it to is the Hunger Games, but what would you cross it with? Thought two things: Parasite and the Hunger Games.
Yeah, that's probably the best two.
Yeah, that was sick. I rated it. Yeah. It's just like a crazy Japanese game show.
Yeah, like
straight up violence.
I felt like
they did not hold back. I like the sort of how it switched between like wholesome stories in like family life and
like the reason why these people were putting themselves through this. Then all of a sudden
then all of a sudden it flips a switch and it's just the most violent shit ever.
Yeah, it felt like Takeshi's Castle on like steroids. Did you ever watch that show?
No, I didn't.
It was like one of those like Japanese game shows.
Oh, actually, someone told me about this actually.
And it was basically like, I think the main game that I remember is it was basically a series of like 3 or 4 walls, and each wall would have 3 or 4 doors in it, but only one of those doors would actually be a door. The others would just be like painted on. Yeah. So these people would be running, and like you had to be in the first like 5 or whatever to get through to get to the next round. So these group of people would just bolt full pace at these walls and run into a door, and it'd just be a solid wall. So it felt
platform 9 3/4.
It felt kind of like that, but yeah, just on steroids.
Yeah,
people actually died, not just
it was full. I mean, it went like the first game, that red light, green light, and they first started killing people. It's like, whoa, because I didn't really know. I think everyone was in the same boat. They didn't really know much about it.
Yep.
When they first started watching it, I definitely didn't. I didn't even bother watching a trailer or anything. I was like, I'm just going to watch it. I sort of loosely got told what it was about, I definitely wasn't expecting it. It was just it was really entertaining. It was good. It's a good watch.
Yeah, like
Well, obviously, because I think 110 million accounts have watched it.
Yeah, it's like Netflix's highest performing show ever, basically. And
what was your favorite game to watch?
Red Light, Green Light is a good one to watch. Like, I wasn't into the show until that game, and I was like, okay, yeah, now you've got me. I'm sold now. And the Glass Bridge was pretty hectic.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Glass Bridge was sick because that was like straight up gambling, like 50-50.
Yep, yeah, it's just 50-50 every time, unless you're like the dude that could like read the light refracting through it.
There was a lot of good tactics in that one too. Yeah, I definitely like the Glass one. That was pretty brutal.
Oh yeah, and like I said, like there's no way to like have a skill-based challenge to that. It was just like pure Luke half the night.
Now, if you could had the opportunity to play any one of those games, but you don't die, you just get eliminated. Say the Glass one, you fall, but you fall onto like big mats, and it's like you don't die. What game would you want to play?
The Glass one would be fun to play, like, but also you'd have to just randomize the draw because everyone knows it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone would be like, "No, I'm going last.
I like the one with
not going first."
The little sugar cracker with the needle.
Yeah,
I reckon that'd be fun to do.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But again, like everybody
I've already
knows,
seen a couple of YouTubers.
Everybody knows
those and trying to do it.
Pick the most basic shape. Don't pick the umbrella.
Yeah, but I thought weren't like all the games like traditional Korean sort of things?
Yeah, like Korean kids games.
Like in a way, like childhood. So everyone should have had a rough idea. Well, the old man did, I guess.
Yep.
A lot of tactics started to come into it, especially with the marbles.
Oh yeah, that was a very sneaky one.
That
was one where it just became down to who was just going to be like the worst human being and screw over their partner. I'm trying to think like what Australian kids games you could have, like.
Yeah, what do we got?
Bull Rush.
You know, it'd be good. Beep test. Did you ever do the beep test?
No, thank God.
Right, if you miss the beep, you just get sniped. That'd be fun.
That'd be fun to watch. That'd be great.
That'd really make it run.
Yeah.
That'd make sure you get fit. So if you don't make the beep, you're Gonski.
Yeah, and then just like handball.
Hey, that's sick. That's a sick idea. Yeah, handball. Handball would be good. What else? School's a long time ago now.
Yeah, I can't remember any of the other ones we played.
Do the kids play games at school anymore, or they just play TikTok? Surely.
Good question. Just TikTok and Fortnite on their phone. And on that sort of Squid Game front, like, there's another show on Netflix that's very similar. Alice in Borderland. I ended up watching that right after Squid Game.
Telling me about it. Yeah, might have been you was telling me about that.
Yeah, so it's from 2020, and it's like the Japanese version of Squid Game. So this one is, there's a group of friends, and they're just hanging around Tokyo. One of them like loves playing his video games and stuff. And then they go into a room, and then they come out, and everybody else is gone. And they're just like, "Oh, what's going on here?" And then they work out that, oh, we're kind of the only people left in Japan. And they see this sign saying Game Arena this way. They go over there, and that's when they discover there are other people here, but we only sort of ever encounter them at the game arenas. And you have to compete in these deadly games in order to...
Oh, it is same, like deadly.
Yep.
Violence. Our favourite things.
You have to get through these games in order to extend your time in the world. Otherwise, like, these laser beams just shoot down from the sky and straight through the top of the head, and you die. The first game they play is called Life or Death, or Live or Die or something. And they're basically in this maze, and each room has two doors. One that is death, one that is life. And only one of them you can get through. The other one, if you go through, a laser strikes you down, you're dead. And if you stay in the room too long, the room just catches on fire and you die there. So you basically have to make a choice, and it ends up they work out how to get through it, obviously, and just the games escalate from there. And
So how similar to Squid Game is it, and why? Give me one reason why it didn't blow up like Squid Game.
so it is very similar, very graphic, very violent.
Is it?
Uh,
And it's in Japanese?
yeah, Japanese with dubbing. The dubbing's not as good as Squid Game. It's pretty
Not that
off-putting.
it's Squid Game dubbing's good.
Yeah, but this one is very like noticeable at times. I think the biggest issue with this one is the first half of the series where it's these guys who are like they're free to roam in Tokyo and Japan, whereas in Squid Game, like they've obviously been kidnapped and locked in these games. So these guys are you can choose not to compete in a game, but you have a set amount of time and you have to play a game to get more time added, basically.
So the Koreans are a bit more ruthless.
Yeah. So like the first half of this series where they are just in Tokyo, just going about their time, trying to extend their life is good. And then in the second half where they go to a place called the beach and meet a whole group of people, it just kind of gets a little bit too crazy and ridiculous and less about the games and more about like the political infighting of this place, which is where it fell off for me. And I think that's probably why Squid Game blew up a bit more, because it is just each episode is a game. Let's move on, and the story is told whilst playing the games rather than outside the game.
Yeah, I like the flash sort of the flashbacks. Like it almost just felt like an episode of Big Brother. Each episode in a way, like everyone's in there, and at the end of the episode, they play the game.
Yep. Yeah. So like Alice in Borderland is good. Like I love the production and the games in the first half, but yeah, the second half just gets too story heavy and kind of loses the momentum and interest level for me. So yeah,
speaking of,
it's been extended
sequels
for a second season, but because it lost so much momentum, it kind of I'm not overly keen for the second season of Alice in Borderland. But Squid Game, I'm all in for season 2 of Squid Game.
There's gonna be, isn't there? There has to be.
Probably not for quite a while.
Why?
Because the writer has not even started writing the second season.
He wrote this one 9 years ago.
Yeah,
as well.
And he wasn't expecting this to blow up. He basically was broke, had no money.
Definitely left it open.
He sold everything. He even sold the computer that he had written the game, the show on, and then eventually built back up enough and rewrote the entire series and submitted it to Netflix, and then they picked it up, and now he's off to the races. But yeah, I don't think season 2 is going to be coming anytime soon. We could be waiting a while for that one.
What do you think the second last episode to last episode? So the second last was like a little half an hour episode. That really should have been the last one. The last episode was redundant. Like you could easily get away with not watching the last episode and be satisfied.
I don't remember now it's the second last one where like they finally
the second one, the three of them, and they had the dinner party.
Yep.
Then like all was done. The game finished. Then the last one was just all about life after the game, and I don't think it wasn't really that well put together, or it seemed a bit rushed. And I'm thinking, was that episode added on at the end to
facilitate a second season?
To have a cliffhanger ending.
Yeah,
it seems like it.
Like you probably could have got away with
our episodes. Then they had the half an hour second last episode, which was an absolute banger. It was sick, and I was like, "Oh, this is mad." But then, yeah, they just did that really bogus, boring sort of not much action last episode. But it did have some turning points in the plot, I guess, with the old man. And if that's a spoiler, everyone should watch Squid Game.
Oh yeah, like there's some big reveals in that last episode, but you probably could have just gone like 15 minutes to that second last episode, and it still would have been an incredible episode and enough.
I've seen a tweet saying turn off at 20 minutes in and you'll be satisfied.
Yeah, once you know that the old man was involved, that's really all you needed to know. And
yeah, I have to
see that he's going back
really
into
think about it.
He's going to try and work it out and go back in for season 2. I'm excited for Squid Game season 2, but I'm not going to hold my breath on when that's coming. We could be waiting 2 or 3 years for that one, sadly.
Yeah.
Lucky
And everyone
Netflix
be,
has a ton of stuff coming out in the next couple of months. So.
you know what's coming out in a couple of weeks?
What's that?
Tiger King.
Yes. What else?
That's
Lock and Key. Lock and Key
Bro.
season 2 came out on Friday. There's
Tiger King season 2 is going to scratch the post Squid Game itch.
Oh yeah,
in a big way.
Yep. Red Notice.
There was some
Ozark is coming out soon.
Couple of good ones I noticed. November's going to be a bit of a doozy for Netties.
Oh yeah, like, I was going through sorting out my spreadsheet for things to cover in the next couple of like next 2 months worth of episodes. It's just like, how am I going to fit all this stuff in? Like, there's so much I want to watch on Netflix, so much I want to watch on Amazon. Movies are back. We've got Many Saints of Newark coming up in a couple of weeks. Like, what the hell?
There was something else. Oh, Bond. That's the big one.
I hate that we're so delayed on that though.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I actually thought it was meant to come out in like October. I'm pretty sure it's December now. Is it? It might be late November, early December. I think it's something. They just keep.
I think it's mid-November for Australia.
Every time I look, they've pushed it back. Is it out overseas though?
Everywhere else.
They had the premiere a few weeks ago.
Everywhere else in the world has it. We're the only ones that don't.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm keen to see how it finishes too. That see where they head with it.
I just hate that Australia is so far behind. It's like by the time it comes here, it's going to be gone.
We're normally good. We normally get stuff early, if anything.
I think they've just pushed it back so much here because they want like cinemas around the country to be open. They don't want to do, or New South Wales can have it, Queensland can have it, but Victoria can't. They just want it. They wanted to sort of wait and make sure everyone was going to be open, ready to go.
Well, there's one simple fix for that. Just open her up.
Well, we are now. We're good.
Yeah. So is Victoria.
Yeah, Victoria are. Like, you can go to the pub in Victoria, but you can't go to a movie.
Yeah, they've got some weird ones, eh?
Like, I'd prefer to go to a movie than go to a pub at the moment.
Hey, you and me both, Jamie Apps.
Like, I feel like I've got less chance of catching COVID at a movie cinema with maybe 3 other people because everybody else is too scared to go out versus going to the pub where everyone's there. Yeah,
at least in like pubs versus movies, everyone's just sitting there quiet, not talking, minimizing spread of the vid. Whereas pubs, people are shouting and carrying on, grabbing each other, spitting in each other's schooner glasses.
Yeah, pubs are gross.
Picking their nose and touching TAB machines.
Yeah, I wouldn't be touching a TAB machine anytime soon.
Festy, bro.
Just use the app.
I had to buy dinner with cash last night. I felt so dirty.
Oh yeah, no, that's
What even is cash?
I have to. I've got so much cash on me at the moment just for preparing to move. Everything's
like
the real estate. Not the real estate. The removal list.
We've got box.
Just got like the removalist, the carpet cleaner, and all of that. It's just all cash. So
great. Yeah. How's move going? Good timing or?
So we've been approved. Moving on the 2nd, Melbourne Cup Day. So it's going to be get the removalist in, get done by lunchtime, so we can sit down and plug the TV in at the new place and just watch the race.
Should be worldwide public holiday.
Well, yeah. Victoria get it, but we don't. So yeah, like that's why like this shelf is like super empty at the moment. Look, it's literally just the belts and nothing else on those shelves. So in the process of the horrible bit of packing everything away.
Oh, I don't know. Nah, packing's all right. Unpacking that's character building exercise.
I've found that you just got to get in and do it. As soon as you like, I'll put stuff in this room and I'll get to that room eventually. You never do. You just got to get in and do it.
Yeah.
As soon as we get down,
I'm not in a hurry to move again.
Unpack the office, get the office all set up. Unpack the bedroom, get that all set up. The lounge room so I can sit down and watch TV when I'm exhausted from unpacking. And then that's it. The rest of the rooms can wait till the next couple of days.
Yeah, it's not for me.
And then The last thing I watched was sort of back on the horror front. I watched the show Midnight Mass, which is also on Netflix.
Mm.
It's
Is that just limited series?
yeah, so it's 7
Like
episodes,
seven.
basically mini series from the same.
I wanted to start watching it, but it looked a bit scary, and I didn't want to watch it on my own.
Yeah,
I watched the trailer, and it was like late one Saturday night. I was going to start it, and I was like, "Ugh, I don't want to walk upstairs to bed later after watching this." They
Yeah.
made it look real scary.
It's created by Mike Flanagan, who is also made The Haunting of Hill House and The Haunting of Bly Manor,
Yeah, I've seen that. Very scary.
and uses many of the same actors again.
Yeah,
It has horror
I'm
elements,
definitely
but
going to watch it.
it's definitely not as scary as a. Ranking his 3 shows in like order of quality, I would put Haunting of Hill House is far and away the best. Because
I still haven't watched Hill House. I've only watched Bly Manor.
Well, Hill House is horrifying. That is the scariest and the best of the stories.
It looks it.
Then I would probably put Midnight Mass next, and then Bly Manor. Like Bly Manor didn't really do a huge amount for me.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't as
scary
bad as
at
I was
all.
expecting. Because I think I just knew Hill House had a big reputation for.
Yeah, Hill House was
series.
terrifying and has one of the best produced episodes I've ever seen, where it's all one shot. You need to watch that.
You're kidding. Yeah, no, I definitely need. I will, like I said, I've been flat stick here. Once I catch up to Love Island, I'll watch something a bit more wholesome, like The Morning of Hill House.
Yeah, Midnight Mass like finds that good middle ground of a good story, enough horror elements where it's like, oh, this is kind of creepy at times, but it all follows like an isolated island community and their experiences with a supernatural events on the island following the arrival of a mysterious priest. We slowly sort of get introduced to vampires and angels and all sorts of crazy stuff. And overall, the series is like all about like grief, the occult, addiction, and most importantly, probably the Catholic Church. There's lots of like religious symbology and references. And at times it's like super dialogue heavy, which was a bit, made it feel a little bit preachy at times, which I didn't really enjoy. Whereas The Haunting of Hill House was just a family going through a haunting and was just absolutely terrifying. That was a great show. So, yeah. This one in the middle between Hill House and Bly Manor. But yeah, definitely Hill House is far and away the best of the Mike Flanagan Netflix shows. But yeah, watch it. I'd suggest starting it during the day and then see how you're feeling about it. If it's maybe not now and it's pitch black and raining and horrible weather outside.
Yeah, it got a bit of a storm earlier. I was worried we might not be able to record. It was got a bit loose at one stage.
Yeah, so that's...
My internet wasn't struggling to work.
Yeah, that's not good. That's everything I watched. Did you watch another movie as well?
Yeah, I did actually. It's called Boss Level.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I saw that last year when it came out.
Not something I would pick myself to watch, but I just rolled with the punches.
It definitely surprised me when you said that.
Yeah, I was with Mum and she wanted to watch it because it had Mel Gibson in it.
Yeah, that's...
So I was like, yeah, whatever.
Seems like a fair choice.
It was very entertaining. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. It was a bit over the top though, but it started to build up a really nice sort of storyline. So I needed to stay for the end.
Yeah.
So it's
an enjoyable movie, but yeah, it's a basic popcorn Sunday Arvo flick.
Oh yeah, it's very easy watching. Apparently there's a new one with Ryan Reynolds out. I'm told it's pretty much the same thing.
Free Guy.
Are you familiar with it?
Oh yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I watched it the other week.
You like it?
It's so good.
I can't stand Ryan Reynolds, bro.
Okay. If you don't like Ryan Reynolds, you're not going to like this movie because it's just Ryan Reynolds. Did you like Deadpool?
Yes. No, because I don't like Ryan Reynolds.
Then don't watch this.
I like Blake Lively.
Yeah. No. I wouldn't watch this if you don't like
Blake.
Ryan Reynolds. It's just
Nah, yeah,
Ryan
I wasn't
Reynolds
in a
being
hurry.
Ryan Reynolds.
No, I wasn't in a hurry.
Playing the same character he plays in every movie since Deadpool.
He's one of those guys, eh? Well, yeah, actually, speaking of new trailers, I've seen it. There's a new Jake Gyllenhaal movie coming out.
Ambulance?
Yes. Looks sick, hey? It reminds me of Speed.
Yep.
On first thoughts. So, yeah, I'm pretty keen for that. We have barks again. You want to go outside?
My first thoughts when I saw the trailer for Ambulance were, Jake Gyllenhaal is just trying to do all of the emergency services jobs in movies now, because he's just recently done the call center movie on Netflix. Now he's being an ambulance driver, so it's like, oh, okay.
I like him. He's a very intense actor. He
He's
plays
a great
his
actor.
roles well.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Very good in Southpaw, a movie I've watched once and I'll never watch again. And it was incredible, by the way. It's just ruined me. There's a particular scene in it which just I was not ready for, and it rattled me.
Yep. Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's exceptional, but I'll never watch it again. I highly recommend to anyone who's never seen Southpaw to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Get the tissues ready. Get the tissues ready though.
And then, yeah, so we've got, like we mentioned, Many Saints of Newark coming up. Unfortunately, it lines up with missing your episode, I think.
Yeah, we'll make sure we mention it.
Yeah, we'll mention it on an episode. But
I'm very keen to chat about it. I'm up to season 5 of The Sopranos now, and I've asked a few people whether or not I need to be finishing The Sopranos, and they said not really.
Yeah, I think because it's a prequel, we'll be fine. But
yeah, I watched enough, but there is Easter eggs in it.
Yep.
But I'm happy to go back and check up on.
Yeah, so
yeah, pretty keen for that though. Very keen. Keen to get back to the movies.
Definitely. So yeah, we'll chat about that on an episode of the podcast, but we'll probably also just do a random breakout special episode video review of that one as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, keep an eye out for that one on the YouTube in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, that's pretty much everything for the week. What's your top recommendation?
I was actually just thinking this. Can I recommend everyone watch Southpaw when they get a chance if they haven't already?
Yeah, no, that's a fair call.
I was just reflecting on how good it was.
For me, out of the things that I watched, it pains me to say this, but I'm just barely going to recommend Halloween Kills because like I said, it did enough. It was just a slasher that was kind of just a stepping stone for the third.
On that note, I told my mate to watch it, but he hasn't seen the first one, the 2018 Halloween. I said you will be able to enjoy it without watching it, but try if you can watch the first one. It'll make heaps more sense in a way, but you can easily go in blind and just say enjoy it and not be left wondering.
Oh yeah, I think the only thing you'll miss is why was he in a burning building at the start?
Yeah.
Apart from that,
but you just do yourself a favor and watch the original anyway, because it was a really good movie. It's well put together. It's a good build up to the reintroduction of the Michael Myers character.
Watch the 2018 Halloween, and then
and the gas station scene was one of the greatest scenes in recent movie history.
Yep.
That was really good. So
alrighty, so yeah, that's everything. Thank you everyone for listening to the commentary booth. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe on podcast services, YouTube, and on twitch.tv/JamieAppsMedia. You can follow me on social media at JamieAppsMedia, and you can follow Blake on Twitter at Captain Crumbs with a Z. The commentary booth is a fan-funded production of Jamie Apps Media. You can support the podcast alongside our magazine, Pario Magazine, on Patreon at patreon.com/JamieAppsMedia. I am about to send the next issue off to the printer, so that will be out in the next couple of weeks. The following people supported at the community support group level or higher, and you cannot fathom how incredibly appreciative we are for their support: Blake Robinson, Ryan and June Hart, Courtney Paulson, Jackson Carr, and Tracy.